Hey folks, this is Kalani. Patch 10.0.5 is now live, and while we have to wait for one of the largest features, the trading post, there is another huge feature included in this patch that you're going to want to know about, the Revival Catalyst. With this system now active, anyone and everyone can create tier set gear, allowing them to secure those 4 set bonuses and increase the overall power potential of their characters. It's great for your main, it's fantastic for your ults, and it also has some uses for the transmog hunters out there, so the catalyst is useful no matter what kind of player you are. But there are a few things you need to do to be able to even use the catalyst, and I see quite a lot of players are still a little confused about how the catalyst works or what it even does. So in this video we're going to go over everything you need to know about the Revival Catalyst, how it works, how it can benefit you, and the fastest ways to earn your charges every week. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. First things first, what is this catalyst thing that everyone's been talking about, and why is it so important? The Revival Catalyst lets you turn various pieces of gear into the tier set gear for your class. If you don't know what tier set gear is, this usually comes from the raid. Up until this point, you could only get tier gear from raid boss drops, or if you got lucky in your weekly vault. You couldn't get them from anywhere else. Tier set gear has special bonuses for equipping 2 pieces of the set and 4 pieces of the set. These bonuses are usually very powerful, so they're great for increasing the power level of your character. That means you will want to collect 4 pieces of this set to get all of the available bonuses and max out your character's potential power. So basically the catalyst cracks open the availability for this gear set. It's no longer just for the raiders or even just for the group content players. Everyone can now get their tier set by using the Revival Catalyst. To use the catalyst, you need to do a quick intro quest. At the top of the Seat of the Aspects in Valdrakken, you can find Watcher Coronos. He will give you the quest Reviving the Machine. Honestly, the purpose for this quest is probably just to show you the location of the catalyst, because that's all you really have to do. Pick up that quest, fly on over to the catalyst, and then hand it in, and we can start earning our charges. Now, to use the catalyst to turn a piece of gear into tier set gear, we're going to need 2 things. A piece of gear as the base for our tier gear, as well as a charge for the catalyst. Now before we continue, today's video is sponsored by Gemstone Legends. Gemstone Legends is an epic RPG match 3 game that combines fun puzzle matching with tactical battles and RPG adventures. The game is rocking a 4.6 rating on Android and almost 5 stars on iOS, so you know you're in for a great time. You can download and try the game for free using the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on screen, and you'll receive an amazing starter pack. There are more than 200 heroes to collect across 8 different factions and 5 different tiers. Every hero has a unique set of skills which can be game-changing and influence your strategy in a variety of ways, so collect your heroes, build your perfect team, and solve match 3 puzzles with epic combo attacks to beat powerful monsters and build up your empire. You can face off against other players in the PvP modes or work together to compete in the guild wars for various rewards. With daily, weekly, and monthly missions to complete, there's always something to do with more exciting content coming soon, and there's a Discord community so you can keep up to date with everything that's happening. Download the game for free now on Android and iOS and get a special starter pack including 500,000 coins, 300 gems, 10 mana and healing elixirs, and a free 4-star hero to help kickstart your adventures. Now getting back to the video, the NPC right next to the catalyst, Antuka, will give you the quest Revival Catalyst. This is going to be how we will earn our charges, by completing this account-wide weekly quest. The quest is very simple, just fill up the bar. Because this quest is account-wide, you can earn progress across any character, so you don't have to do it all in one character if you don't want to. So what kind of things can we do to fill up this bar, and what is going to be the fastest way to 100%? Because let's be honest, that's what we all want to do, get it done, get it early, so we don't have to worry about it for the rest of the week. Well, there are actually a lot of different types of content you can take part in that will give you credit towards this quest. Let's talk about the easiest stuff first and work up to the group content. So for starters, Elite World Quests seem to be the best source of progress right now. I don't know if this is intended, but Elite World Quests are giving 50% progress each, so you only have to do 2 of them and you're done for the week. It's worth noting that the World Boss does count as an Elite World Quest, and that's something most people will probably still be killing every week anyway, so that's a big chunk of progress right there. So killing the World Boss is worth 50% for this quest right now, and then you can just do 1 other Elite World Quest quest on your map. Take your pick. There are usually quite a few of them up in the elite areas of the Dragon Isles, like the Obsidian Citadel or the Cobalt Assembly, and each of them gives 50% progress right now. Another option you have is to just kill the world boss on 2 different characters. Because the quest itself is account-wide, you can earn progress towards it across multiple characters, so killing the world boss on 2 different characters right now actually gives you 50% for both of those kills, which lets you complete the Catalyst quest in under 10 minutes. This might get changed pretty quickly because that does seem like a lot of progress just for a world quest, but even if it does get changed to a lower percent, elite world quests are very easy to complete and will give you some nice progress towards your weekly completion. You can also get 10% progress by completing the various world events, so things like the Siege on Dragonbane Keep, the Grand Hunts, and the new Storm's Fury event, they're supposed to give 10% each. I know for the Siege specifically, you only get the percent when you open the box, so that might be true of the other events too. The Storm's Fury event did not give us any percent when we did it, even when we did open the box, but that might be a bug and will hopefully get fixed later on. You are also supposed to be able to get 5% credit for killing Primal Invasion rare monsters, but seeing as the credit is quite low and the rares aren't up all too often, this probably isn't a great way to progress through the quest. As for group content, running a Mythic or Mythic Plus dungeon will give you 25% upon completion, so if you run dungeons a lot throughout the week, this will be pretty quick and easy for you. Raid bosses will also give you 25% towards the quest, so again, if you raid, you will get a lot of passive progress towards the quest, so you don't have to go out of your way to really complete it. And then for PvP, winning matches in Battlegrounds, Arena or Solo Shuffle also gives you credit towards the totals, 10% or 25%, so that could be a good option if you like to PvP. With the World Boss and Elite World Quests giving so much credit right now, there isn't really a reason to go out of your way to do anything else for this quest, but in the event that the big 50% progress credit gets nerfed, you'll know what else you can do towards the weekly quest completion, either for this week or in future weeks. This quest will be available every week, which means we can earn 1 charge per week to use in the Revival Catalyst. It's worth noting that you can only hold up to 6 charges on one character. That doesn't mean you can only get 6 charges total. You should be able to get as many charges as there are weeks left in this season of Dragonflight, but if you hit 6 charges on a character, you won't be able to earn or hold any more than that, so you do need to spend them to use more than 6. These charges are also per character, even though the quest is account-wide. The charges you get are character-specific, so you get 1 charge for each character on your account, and these are even saved up for future characters for when they hit level 70, so feel free to spend them all as you wish. So that's how we're going to get the charges that we need to use the Catalyst. The other thing we need is a piece of gear, and not just any gear will do, I'm afraid. The gear that can work in the Catalyst and therefore be turned into tier gear is quite limited, but thankfully there are options for everyone. To start with, any piece of gear that you get out of your weekly vault can be turned into tier gear, so it can come from the raid row, the dungeon row, or the PvP row. Anything from the vault can be used in the Catalyst. In addition to that, any gear you get from the Vault of the Incarnate's raid can be turned into tier gear, any piece of gear you get out of a Mythic Plus dungeon can be turned into tier gear, and then Conquest PvP gear can also be used in the Catalyst too, so that covers all of the major group content gear sources. But then you can also use the item level 385 upgraded Elemental Storms gear. This is the stuff you use Storm Sigils to upgrade in Valdrakken, so that's one very good option for solo players, and then the item level 385 upgraded World PvP gear can be used in the Catalyst as well. This is the stuff you use Trophies of Strife to upgrade to at the PvP vendor, another great option for solo players. And then the last major source of gear you can use in the Catalyst actually comes from world bosses, so any gear you get from the world boss can also be used in the Catalyst. So if you have any of that gear in the tier gear slots, you can use the Catalyst to turn it into tier gear. When you turn an item into tier gear, the item level is going to remain the same. You keep any extra bonuses like tertiary stats like speed or leech or sockets, and then you also keep upgrade paths in the case of Mythic Plus gear or Conquest gear, so you can continue to upgrade that piece of gear even though you turn it into tier set with Valor or Honor as if it was still a piece of Mythic Plus or Conquest gear, which is really nice. The one main thing that changes is the stats. The stats on tier gear, the resulting piece of gear, are fixed, so it will most likely have different stats when compared to the piece of gear you are putting in. This goes for all gear types, by the way, even if that gear is not part of the set, so always double check what your item is going to turn into before using your Catalyst charges. So the main reason to use the catalyst is to turn non-tier set gear into tier set gear to get those 2 set and 4 set bonuses. That's what most players will primarily be using it for. Those gear slots are going to be head, shoulders, chest, hands and legs if you did not know, so you might want to prioritize those when it comes to choosing what pieces of gear to upgrade from the Storm gear or the World PvP gear if that's your only source of eligible gear. But after that, you can also use the catalyst to change the stats on your gear. As I said before, the stats on your resulting piece of gear are fixed. You cannot change them, but if those fixed stats are better than the stats on your current piece of gear, you can then use the catalyst charges to get a better stat choice on your gear. This includes things like bracers, belts, and boots. So it's not just set gear slots. And then the last potential use of the catalyst is to just earn additional transmog. You get the transmog for the tier gear when you use the catalyst to change a piece of gear, so if you change gear for every slot, you can then earn the class set transmog without ever having to go into the raid, which is really nice. The transmog piece you get depends on the item level of the item you put in, so if you put in heroic raid equivalent item level gear, you will get the heroic class set transmog. At least that's how it's supposed to work. If you go up to the mythic item level stuff, you can get the mythic raid set transmog without ever having to actually do the raid on mythic. So if you're a transmog hunter, the catalyst is also a really fun feature to take advantage of. And I think that about covers everything you should need to know about how the catalyst works and why you should be interested in it. It's great for solo players or non-raiders to finally have a targetable, reliable avenue to pursue their tier set bonuses, and it's also really great for getting your alts caught up with their tier set bonuses as well. Everything else, like the transmog options, is just icing on the cake. So that's everything you should need to know about the Revival Catalyst in patch 10.0.5. What are you going to use the catalyst for first and foremost? To get your tier set completed? Maybe to just start working on your tier set? Or maybe to go for those shiny transmog pieces? Do you have any leftover questions that weren't answered in the video about how this system works as a whole? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you'd like to add your name to the end of every video with a special shout out at the start of the next video, you can find links in the description over to Patreon or click the join button just below this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching, folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time. Oh, and thanks again to Gemstone Legends for sponsoring this video. Be sure to check out the links in the description.